Kickoff for the 2025 college football season is just around the corner, and these are my best case and worst case scenarios for the Texas Longhorns this season. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, where we get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. We're brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/SECU to get $250 in bonus bets today. The 2025 season is quickly approaching, and you can feel the hype in Austin from here as the Texas Longhorns look to go back to the college football playoff, and this time finish the job and hoist the trophy and win their first national championship since the 2005 season. Guys, we are here, and I'm giving you my best case and worst case scenarios for the Texas Longhorns in the 2025 season as we start and pull up the schedule for Steve Sarkisian and his program. Of course, guys, the Horns start with the thriller that we will be in attendance for, by the way, in Columbus, Ohio, at Ohio State. Going to be a massive tone setter, and we're really going to find out what both sides are. Two brand new starting quarterbacks with Arch Manning on the Texas side, Julian Sayin assumed to be on the Ohio State side. That one's going to be absolutely electric. You then have San Jose State non-conference UTEP, Sam Houston. Finally, you open conference play October the 4th at Florida, and this one's going to be a lot of fun. This has been like a big sexy upset pick by a lot of people this offseason. Take it for what it's worth. Then you take on Oklahoma in the rivalry showdown. You're at Kentucky. You're at Mississippi State. Vandy at home, at Georgia. Arkansas at home before you close the season out against Texas A&M. Now, the thing that jumps off the page here with this schedule is this. The road trips are much more daunting than they were a season ago. And listen, Texas fans, I'm not trying to make this a conversation about your schedule or what have you, but the road trips are much more intimidating than what you had last season, which means, unfortunately, the home slate is not as good there in Austin. But, I mean, starting the season at Ohio State, you go to the Swamp. Of course, you're going to take on Oklahoma. That's a neutral site game, though. You go to Mississippi State and to Kentucky. That shouldn't be too difficult, but at Georgia late in the season as well. So you got those three big ones at Ohio State, at Florida, and at Georgia. Also, you mix in some tricky games with Arkansas at the end of the season, Texas A&M at the end of the season, Oklahoma with John Mateer. That one could be tricky, right? Vanderbilt with Diego Pavia. Maybe that one's tricky as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this out here, guys. As good as I think Texas is going to be this season, because I think they're going to be very good, I don't think anybody in the SEC is going undefeated this year. I just don't. I think the days of us seeing a 12-0, 8-0 SEC team are probably long gone. I mean, Steve Sarkisian said this himself this offseason. Like, those days are over. You go undefeated. I think he said they should build a statue for you. So, hey, maybe Texas does it, and maybe Sark gets his own statue outside of the stadium. But I don't think it's going to happen because I just think there's so much parity in the sport. Nobody's got as much depth that they used to, and you just play so many good teams. Like, at some point, you're probably going to suffer a body blow. Here's the good news. Texas is in good shape to withstand it. Again, especially the tone setter week one. If you can beat Ohio State, when you start talking best case scenarios, maybe, just maybe you could be on the run to the undefeated season. But guys, I just, for me, I don't see it. I think everybody is going to take a loss at some point. So with that being said, let's get into my best case and worst case for the Texas Longhorns this season. Best case, I've got 11-1. Like I said, guys, I think Texas very well could go 11-1. I just don't see anyone going undefeated this season, whether it's you lose the game at Ohio State or you lose at Georgia or you lose at Florida. I think it's most likely going to be one of those road games. I mean, do you dare get upset by Oklahoma? I don't think I'm ready to go there yet. But in this best case scenario, guys, for me, Arch Manning lives up to the hype. That's one of the big key components of this, because Texas has got everything outside of him where you're going to notice when we talk worst case, the floor is pretty darn high for this team. And I think it's just a testament to the way Sark is recruited, the way he's built this roster, obviously the way they've utilized the transfer portal. But, I mean, guys, they're loaded. And listen, I think that in this best case, the offensive line needs to gel, right? The good news is this. they've got the first month of the season outside of the Ohio State game to really find their footing, come together in the non-conference, if you will. But it's plug and play, guys. It's not like you're replacing the last year's players with scrubs. You got dudes who've been working with Arch Manning for years that were very highly touted prospects and recruits, so it very well could happen. So, again, in the best case, Arch Manning lives up to the hype. The offensive line gels and comes together. You've got weapons galore on the outside. They live up to the hype. And the defense, guys, lives up to being what we think they're going to be, which is one of the best defenses, not just in the SEC, but all of college football. You've got two of the best players in college football with Ant Hill and Colin Simmons on the edge. You know, Michael Taft, who I love at the safety spot, I think is a fantastic player. So you got dogs all over the field. I think as long as a lot of pieces of this team really just live up to the expectations, I think the best case is very achievable. And again, I think best case being at 11-1 is fair. Worst case, I've got 9-3. And I think at the core of the worst case, because I think the defense is going to be there, I think it really just have to be a situation where Arch Manning is just simply not nearly what we thought he was going to be. And that would be probably one of the biggest surprises of the college football season, because I think most of us believe, even if he's not like heading to New York to win the Heisman, the floor feels pretty high for this kid. We know about the skill set. Obviously, we know about the pedigree as well, and I think that does matter as much as people get exhausted talking about it. I do think it matters, but I just think it'd have to come back to a situation where poor quarterback play costs you. I mean, listen, this league is tough enough where, you know, if you go to the Swamp, you go to Athens, you go to Ohio State to start, and, you know, you get a bad performance from Arch Manning, I think it very well could cost you. I think, too, though, the bigger piece of this, I think the offensive line would have to take a serious step back. I think that's the big piece here. I think if the offensive line struggles, you're not able to get consistent production out of the running game to help Arch. It's really on the offensive side, because I think defensively you're stout. I think you're only going to take a step forward. I think defensively, I don't think you're going to go backwards. So 9-3 for me, worst case, which maybe even feels a little aggressive, but listen, the schedule does toughen up a little bit. This schedule's got teeth to where if you do not play well, it will bite you. I don't know that you could say the exact same about it last year. Game at Ohio State, you lose that one to start the year. At Georgia, I mean, we all know about Georgia and the way he's worked Texas to this point, and Kirby Smart, I should say, the way he's gotten Texas to this point. Going to Athens is going to be tough. That's 2 losses. I mean, is it far-fetched to say you could lose one more? I mean, between Florida, Texas A&M into season, Arkansas is a tricky one. Oklahoma in the rivalry game. Like, I think it's possible. So 9-3, worst case for Texas, I think. And again, some of the things I mentioned, I think they'd have to happen, because I do think the floor for this team is really high, just because I think it's one of, if not the best roster in all of college football. So, guys, again, I've got best case 11-1, worst case 9-3. When you take a look at this 2025 Texas Longhorns team, do you agree with me or do you disagree? What's your best case and worst case scenarios for Steve Sarkisian's team in the 2025 college football season? Guys, that's going to do all for me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast. If you get your podcast, you can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. Before we get out of here, I do want to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel, because as always, we're brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Guys, college football season's just around the corner. Like I mentioned, you want to make sure you're in on the action with our friends at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to get $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. And guys, you can bet on literally anything and everything. They got props, they got parlays, they got spreads, they got totals. Guys, you want to bet on SEC champion, national champion, Heisman Trophy winner. They also have other sports, right? Major League Baseball is in full swing. Get on the action with that. The NFL preseason is going to be here before you know it. They've got props for the season, of course, as well. NHL, NBA, all that stuff coming back in full swing very soon. So again, make sure you lock in with our friends over at FanDuel. Once again, FanDuel.com/SECU. That's FanDuel.com/SECU to get $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, guys, we appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. As always, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Till next time, y'all take care. Appreciate you. We'll catch you all on the other side.